juste avant le début de cette rencontre. Bien vu.
Si el ritmo te lleva a mover la cabeza y empezamos como es. Mi música no discrimina a nadie, así que vamos a romperlo. Todo se puede, la fiesta la llevo en mis hijos.
Alors avec vos mains, vous m'avez semblé très très bon. On va donc continuer avec ça. Plus fort. Alors c'est pas mal du tout, on va recommencer, vous allez pouvoir frapper dans les mains et puis au lieu de faire les deux coups finaux à la fin, vous allez crier les bleus, parce que je vous le garantis, ça marche aussi et ça on pourra le faire même pendant le match. Plus fort les bleus. Et on continue maintenant avec les mains et avec la voix. Je veux vous entendre chanter très fort. Tout le monde. Plus fort. Vous êtes parfaits ce soir derrière l'équipe de France. Dans un instant, on va vous présenter les deux équipes. Supporters des Bleus, est-ce que vous êtes là? Allez, 13 minutes tout juste avant le coup d'envoi de ce match, mesdames, messieurs, j'aimerais voir toutes vos mains en l'air, s'il vous plaît. On pose les drapeaux et on met les mains bien au-dessus de votre tête. Tout le monde les mains au-dessus de la tête. Voilà, c'est pas mal. Tout le monde, tout le monde, tout le monde, tout le monde, tout le monde. Et comme vous savez si bien le faire, je veux vous entendre frapper dans les mains et faire un maximum de bruit en rythme avec ça. Au niveau des mains, c'est pas mal du tout. On change maintenant d'exercice. Juste avant la présentation des équipes, on reprend les drapeaux et on agite les drapeaux dans le ciel de Montpellier, les drapeaux bleu, blanc, rouge de partout. Et on continue de mettre une ambiance de folie. Avec les drapeaux, attention, c'est à vous. Plus fort.
Good afternoon, good evening, basketball fans, and welcome to La Sud de France Arena here in Montpellier, in France, for this Group K matchup between France and Finland. It's the World Cup qualifiers, European division. As you take a look at some of the results we've had this weekend, Finland, a big 4-point victory over Bosnia and Herzegovina. Meanwhile, France suffering their first defeat of the World Cup qualifiers in Bulgaria. We'll have a lot more to say about that game as you see the players here being introduced. Currently in Group K, which is a combination of groups E and F of the first round, you see France still up top alongside Czech Republic with 13 points, 6 wins and 1 loss, and Finland in third place with Russia right behind them. So Finland obviously looking to maintain that third spot, and they will have a lot of work to do here in France. You can imagine these French Les Bleus, this country still riding the wave of a World Cup victory in football, soccer, and now the basketball team looking to follow suit. Nicolas Batum, who has taken the captaincy role now that Boris Diaw is retired. Boris Diaw did participate in the first 6 games of these qualifiers. And Nando De Colo, star point guard, who will be counted on for a stronger performance than he had just the other night against Bulgaria, where he was just 0 for 4 from 3, 5 turnovers, 8 points. And, you know, a lot of people have been talking about the leadership void left by Boris Diaw's retirement. Obviously, Nicolas Batum with the captain stepping up, but a lot of people will be looking at De Colo as well. Meanwhile, Finland comes in winning 3 of their last 4 games. Feeling a good wave. No Lauri Markkanen tonight. We'll see if Jamar Wilson plays after missing Thursday night's action with a knee injury. But we will take a brief pause here in the commentary in just a couple of moments while we have the national anthems for both countries.
Mesdames, Messieurs, veuillez maintenant vous lever pour les hymnes nationaux. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthems. Tout d'abord, l'hymne national de la Finlande. First, the national anthem of Finland.
So that was the Finnish national anthem, and now we'll have the anthem for France.
The national anthem of France.
A very powerful rendition there of La Marseillaise. These French supporters are on their feet And obviously Marseille just a couple of hours away here from Montpellier. And Montpellier was actually the site of the 2015 Eurobasket. And of course, in that tournament, these two teams featured here, Finland and France, were involved in one of the games of the tournament, an overtime victory for France in that one. But Finland able to get a little bit of payback as they beat France last summer in the 2017 edition of the Eurobasket. Obviously, Finland was hosting in Helsinki, so a big win on each country's home court. But that also gives Finland a lot of confidence going into this matchup against the #3 team in the world. France, obviously one of the powers of not just European basketball, but world basketball. And Finland, definitely a basketball nation on the rise over the last few years. And you can thank Coach Detman for that, as well as his coaching staff, especially involved in the Helsinki Basketball Academy, which so many of these players are products of, including a couple of players still on the team here today. That's Mikael Juntinen and Ville Tavanainen. Those two just 18 years of age, currently playing for the Helsinki Basketball Academy. And Finland will look to really capitalize off their big win against Bosnia and Herzegovina, where Sasu Salin went absolutely off. You see him there, 6 of 8 from 3, 8-11 overall, 5 for 5 from free throw line. Salin finishing with 27 points in that game against Bosnia. And even though the score is 85-81, it's a little bit deceiving, as Finland was up 21 points going into the fourth quarter, clearly let their foot off the gas a little bit there in the final 10 minutes. And Bosnia did cut the lead down to 3, but Finland still able to pull away with a win. Meanwhile, France, in what was what many people call a tragedy in Bulgaria for their first loss of the qualifiers. You know, according to Nicolas Batum and Coach Vincent Collet, it wasn't a situation they underestimated their opponent. They just weren't prepared properly. They weren't ready, is what Batum said in the press conference after the game. And you know, Bulgaria got off to a very, very strong start, scoring 27 points in the first quarter. As we see the referees here for today's game, those are not their names. You have the Italian referee Lorenzo Baldini, the Israeli referee Erez Gurian, and the Latvian referee Gatis Salins. But back to that French-Bulgaria game again. They shot 4 from 22 from the three-point line. They were 10 of 18 from the free throw line and still had a chance to win, as the game was tied at 66 with 5 minutes left. Bulgaria, though, ending on an 8-2 run to finish that game and come out with one of the biggest victories that they've had in their basketball history. Coaches and players discussed after the game that, you know, that it's obviously a major high to beat a team like France, but they have another game here today against the Czech Republic, so they'll look to also build on that victory. But France, again, committing 19 turnovers that game. It felt a little bit sloppy. As you take a look at the Finnish roster here for today's action, you're going to be particularly looking out again for Salin, but also Petteri Koponen, who is back in the starting 5 alongside Mari Nutinen, Mikael Jantinen getting the start again, and Tuukka Koti. Koti, the veteran, usually starts games. He's one of their bigger guys, 6'9". Of course, this Finnish team a little bit deprived of size without Lauri Markkanen in the lineup. They feature 2 6'9" kind of power forwards, no traditional center. Meanwhile, on the French side, Mustafa Fall, 7'2", who will be coming off the bench today as Mathias Lessot gets the start alongside Charles Kahuri, Nando De Colo, Nicolas Batum, and Andrew Albisi. So Mustafa Fall, who typically, you know, he's been involved in all the qualifying games so far. You see him there, number 93. Came in averaging 8 points per game, but only played 12 minutes against Bulgaria the other night. Paul Lacombe, another player to look out for, number 90, coming off the bench. He's played in every game so far, 23 minutes per game, nearly 10 points, also 2.5 steals per game for Lacombe. So France has a lot of weapons, that's for sure. You see De Colo and Batum, of course, going to be relied upon to really make plays. De Colo more of a scorer. Batum does a little bit of everything for this team. He comes off a game where he had 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. Just 5 of 14 shooting, though, for Batum, so he'll look to be a little bit more efficient from the field. So we're live here again in Montpellier. Group K here between France and Finland is underway. RBC collects the first possession for France. De Colo will initiate the offense. Le Sort, you see he's a big fella, number 26, setting big screens. And RBC, more of a passer than a shooter. Here's De Colo. Oh, nice strip away that time from Koti. And Finland gets a steal on their first possession. Newtonen, patient Koponen, number 11, top of the key to point guard. He'll be back at Bayern Munich this year after playing so many years at Barcelona. And Koti, little fadeaway inside, bounces around, no good. Newtonen hustles for the rebounds, finds Koponen. Solid, doesn't need much room, and too strong in his first three. Batum now pushing the tempo. Oh, nice little crossover. See the help side defense there. BC. And Kahudi finds Lassalle inside. Batum catches shoot on the wing. It's good for the first basket of the night. Nicolas Batum gets France on the board. Janssinen. There's Koponen getting the screen from Kochi. Koponen keeps the defender on his hip and misses a layup. Checks that referee out for a little bit of contact. No whistle, obviously. Here's Albisi. Lassalle posting up hard inside. Albisi doesn't look for him. Obviously dribbling quite a bit in that possession. Batum lobs it to Lassalle. And the big man finds De Colo. He'll spot up from three. And he cannot connect on his first three-point attempt. And we have our first foul of the game as Albisi looking to slow down Solid. You see, also trying to get around the screen. Albisi just too much contact, not much arguing from him. Meanwhile, Batum gets the scoring off with a long two. So Janssinen will inbound. Finds Koponen. Solid, nice. Oh, the high-low, Cody to Janssinen inside. And the big man finishes at the basket. Again, Janssinen, just 18 years of age. This is his fourth game for the national team in these qualifiers, and he gets their first field goal of tonight's game. Batum, oh, nice backdoor cut from Albisi, but the ball's deflected out of bounds by Janssinen. Good defensive awareness there to prevent the layup. You see Batum, who's such an adept passer, especially at his size. Again, Batum 6'8", listed as a small forward, but more of a point forward. De Colo now, 5 on the shot clock. Nice double team. It's another steal for Finland. France manages to get back in defensive transition. Koponen gets the mismatch with Lassalle, and it's a steal by De Colo. So he give it, he take it away. Oh, and then we're gonna have a blocking foul there on Solin as he collides with De Colo. You see, he was trying to take a charge even. Good sportsmanship there from Solin. But De Colo able to read that passing lane. And then Solin looks to just, you can see that their chins meet. So, doesn't seem to be too much harm done. De Colo able to stay in the game. And France will inbound to Batum, pump fakes. And it's going to be another foul on Finland as Newtonen is trying to prevent the drive. And we're also going to have our first substitution of the night. Sean Huff, who has started many games for Finland, comes off the bench in this one. Huff also nearly 10 points per game, 9.6, but only had 6 points the other night against Bosnia and Herzegovina. Here's Batum again. Little fadeaway action, and it's good again. Nicholas Batum, 2 for 2. You see the step back off the dribble. Batum, who's really expanded his game over the years. And obviously he'll be excited to reunite with Tony Parker in Charlotte, as Tony Parker signed for the Hornets this past offseason. Parker obviously no longer involved as a player with the national team, but it was in this city, on this court, that he became the all-time leading scorer in Eurobasket. Obviously, Paul Gasol then broke that record last year in Istanbul, but Parker still a legend in the European game. Here's Koponen now. He shoots a 3, and he knocks it in. Koponen, a Finnish legend himself. Koponen, the point guard who can do a bit of everything, score, obviously distribute. You see him there knock down the open 3. Nice screen set from Cody. And as I mentioned, Koponen will be at Bayern Munich this year. And Kahudi responds with a 3 of his own. Shot Kahudi on the nice skip pass. And the game's starting to open up just a little bit here in these last couple possessions. Solin looking for room. Gets to keep it to Koti. Koti, another hard screen. Koponen, the fadeaway jumper, tough shot. And Nicola comes away with the defensive rebound, pushing it to LBC. Oh, nice behind the back dribble. Batum, pump fakes. Kahudi, 2 for 2. You count on it. Charles Kahudi, back-to-back 3-pointers. And France builds up a 10-5 lead. Kahudi, who isn't necessarily known for his 3-point shooting. These are actually his first 2 threes of the European qualifiers. As Koponen drops Lassalle, throws the lob up, and it's going to be a shot clock violation. A bit of an unorthodox end to the possession, as the ball did hit the rim on that pass from Koponen. And the referees will head to the table. But even though, we'll take another look here, it's Koponen. Yep, the ball did seem to hit the rim as Koti tipped it up. And you see obviously the shot clock under 2 seconds there. And the referees will have a look at the monitor to see whether or not the shot clock should have been reset. And that will decide whether the ball goes over to France, and it's gonna stay with Finland. So Finland maintains possession. Also Alex Murphy checking into the game for the first time, number 5, the younger brother of Eric Murphy, who's also been involved with the Susiyengi for a while. Here's Koponen. And you see Palmy also in the game. That's him now with the ball. His first shot no good, but the tip-in is by Alex Murphy. So Alex Murphy making his presence felt immediately coming into the game. Here's Lassalle. And he draws a foul on Murphy. Again, Lassalle, 6'9", but playing the center position. You see him here attack Murphy after the pump fake. And the first step, creating a bit of an issue for Murphy. Also checking in is Fifi Aidu, number 34 for Finland, the backup point guard, who in his first game with Finland got off to a tremendous start. Lots of energy, especially defensively. Had 6 points, 4 assists, and 2 steals. You see him there, number 34, guarding Albisi. And the Finnish fans very excited about his future. Here's Fall, who thought about it, but kicks it out to Kahudi. And that three's too strong. Fall with the hustle, able to save it to DeColo. And Fall has the size advantage on pretty much everyone on Finland, but doesn't even look at the basket. Shot clock down to 5. Albisi hoists up the runner. No good. Kahudi, strong rebound and put back, just muscles his way to the basket. And again, the offensive rebound as Solin has the ball slip out of his hands. Finland able to recover the ball. And Aidu will call out the play. Here's Huff. Looking to go at Batum. Tough shot. That drops for Sean Huff. What a nice first shot of the game for Huff. Oh, good action there from France, and it leads to the fall dunk. Great offense. Ball moves around the perimeter and finds Fall diving inside for the dunk. Solin, who hasn't really had a clean look, and they're going to call a foul on Mustafa Fall as he got his hands up on Murphy. Take another look here. The nice feed inside. Kahudi finds the cutting Fall, who all he has to do, keep the ball high, throw it down. Mustafa Fall, who's 7'2", and again, the tallest player for Finland, just 6'9", so a big advantage is Paul Lacombe. Also checks into the game for the first time. And Alain Kofi as well, you see him there, number 34. So the bench getting a chance now to make their impressions felt. Here's Aidu, pulls up at the elbow, too strong, and Albisi with the rebound, looking to push it the other way. Kofi posting up hard inside, he has the advantage on Huff, double team comes. Nice skip pass, Batum wide open, pump fakes, and draws a foul on the closeout. As you see, number 3, Antti Kanervo, the shooting guard off the bench, who does a pretty good job closing out, but then puts his hands on Batum to deter the drive and picks up the foul. So Albisi checks out, and Jonathan Roussel, who did not play against Bulgaria, we'll see action here tonight. Here's Batum on the block now. Fadeaway jumper. Oh, it's just all dropping right now for Batum. That is not an easy shot. But he said he'd be more prepared for this game. That appears to be the case, getting early going. Aidu. Murphy catches shoot 3. Looks to follow a shot, can't get it. And Fall hustles for the rebound. Here's Kofi inside now. Finds a cutting Lacombe. Strong drive and finish for Paul Lacombe, the Monaco player. Basketball Champions League, you see him there. Kofi with a nice find. And Lacombe aggressive. Had his mind set on one thing, and that was getting to the rim, finishing through contact. And an and-one opportunity as France playing with a lot more energy in this first quarter than we saw the other night against Bulgaria. So we have our first timeout of the game as Finland find themselves down 9 early on. Coach Detman.
We got to do our job on defense. We have to hit. We have to stop the ball movement. We have to be aggressive. Now when they get the ball movement, we are behind. We have no chance. We have no chance. Then we got to do our job on the board. We have to rebound. Anything else? These two things. And then we got to push the ball. Offensive.
We play next few possessions. We play high ball. Usually you there with big fella, so you get open. That's our first time. Early Sean flash it. We get ball to Sean.
So you hear Coach Denman's advice for his team. And again, you expected France to come out to a more energetic start after the performance on Thursday night. So Lacombe will still be at the free throw line with a chance to put this game into double digits. And that's actually an interesting part of these two teams. So, you know, we expected a pretty close game. It still obviously has a chance playing the time to be close, as you see Edwin Jackson in there, number 91. But Finland, 6 of their 7 games in the qualifiers have been decided by single digits. Meanwhile, 4 of France's 6 wins have been by double digits. The last 2 have been in single digits for France, but they're used to putting points on the board and kind of not blowing out teams, but having comfortable leads. Meanwhile, Finland used to the close, nail-biting action. And right now, it's France with the early advantage, getting into double digits in the first quarter. So here's Murphy. drives the lane, gets strong, take to the basket, and draws another foul on fall. So Alex Murphy will head to the free throw line. Again, Murphy, the younger brother of Eric Murphy. And Alex Murphy played in his college ball initially at Duke University before transferring to the University of Florida and eventually being a graduate transfer at Northeastern. His college career didn't pan out as successfully as you would have imagined for the four-star recruit, but he's found a nice little niche for himself here in Finland, playing in the domestic league as well as for the national league. National team, sorry. But he misses that first free throw. So 1 for 2 for Murphy. And again, he had 13 points in his first game of the qualifiers on Thursday night. Here's Jackson now, who's an electrifying scorer himself off the bench for France. Lacombe crosses over, spin move coming, and finish. Paul Lacombe with yet another beautiful move to get to the basket and finishes over Sean Huff. Canervo as Huff finds Murphy cutting back door, and another 2 for Alex Murphy. So bright start off the bench for E. Murph's little brother. As you see, Lacombe challenging the shot but unable to deter it. Here's Jackson for France, finds Roussel. Shot clock winding down, Lacombe long 3, too strong. And Aidu collects the rebound, finds Canervo up the floor. And the finish will reset. There's Aidu. Murphy thought about it. Oh, nice crossover dribble. And they're going to call a foul on Kofi. Had his hands on Jantinen, who was trying to drive to the hoop. Take another look. Nice crossover dribble there from Jantinen. And a little bit of contact from Kofi, draws the fouls. We take another look at the Lacombe spin move and finish through contact. And the double clutch creates just enough room to get the shot off. And Jamar Wilson, number 31, who won't be playing here tonight, it seems. He was 50-50 coming into the matchup, suffering a knee injury in the days leading up to the game. Obviously sat out Thursday's game as Jantinen missing the first free throw. Jamar Wilson actually playing his first game for Finland in Montpellier as part of the 2015 Eurobasket. And he's been somewhat of a national hero since, as he's helped Finnish national team basketball rise up the rankings. As another feed to Lacombe ends up in an easy layup for number 90. This time it's Roussel with the pass. Murphy, nice crossover. Oh, the left-hand take. No basket that time, and no backcourt violation there either, as Finland able to get a steal in the backcourt. Aidu takes his time to set up the offense. Finland down 11. France playing good defense in this first quarter, but we're going to have a foul off the ball against Roussel. 2 free throws since Finland in the bonus, France in the penalty. So you see Roussel there holding Jantinen. And we'll take another look at the Roussel assist as well. You see Lacombe so good off the ball, always moving, always cutting, looking for the gaps in the defense. And it leads to another easy 2, as Lacombe already with 7 points. So another missed free throw for Finland, as Jantinen unable to connect on the first. Finland just 1 of 5 here so far from the free throw line. Make that 2 of 6. Game clock at 5 seconds. Lacombe gets around. Roussel thought about it, pump fake, steps into the shot, and the buzzer beater is good for Jonathan Roussel to cap off a bright first quarter here for France, putting 25 points on the board. They're up 12 against Finland. Roussel gets Aidoo off his feet, steps into the jumper, and you see the ball slip through the net before that red light appears on the backboard. Once again, Roussel creates just enough separation from the defender. And after one, it's 25-13 for France. Finland really struggling on offense. Just 5 for 15 shooting. Overall, 2-6 on the free throw line. So we'll be back here shortly for second quarter action. Make sure you tune in to the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup starting next week in Tenerife from the 22nd to 30th of September. Meanwhile, here in Montpellier, French fans treated to a good start, a bright performance. Meanwhile, Finland will look to climb their way back up. Again, it's basically a complete 180 from Thursday's games, where France got off to a slow start, let Bulgaria develop an early lead. Meanwhile, Finland got off to a great start against Bosnia and Herzegovina and never looked back. As a matter of fact, they were only down in that game for 58 seconds, led for 36 minutes of it. And so far here tonight, finding themselves down early in the first quarter, already by 12. And we're back underway with Palmi, Koponen, Koti, Janssen, and Aidoo coming out of the game. So here's Koponen over to Newtonen. See Vincent Poirier, also number 17 for France, a big man in the game. More size for France. As the quick shot airball that time, Alexander Madsen didn't have much time to get it off. So a turnover for the first possession. As we've seen France play just some very solid defense here in the first half. You see not much room, not much space for driving lanes. Pretty much every shot is contested. So France definitely locked in defensively. Here's Lacombe inside to Poirier, who goes right at Madsen and draws a foul. So 2 free throws to come for Poirier. Take another look there. Madsen doing his best to make up for the size difference. Madsen 6'9", Poirier 7 feet. And Poirier knocks down the first free throw. He comes off the game, 4 points, 5 rebounds on Thursday night. This is his 4th game for France in these qualifiers. Currently playing for Baskonia. And he goes 2 for 2 from the free throw line. So France doing a much better job than they did the other night at the free throw line again. Just 3 of 3, but they were 10 of 18 against Bulgaria. And Vincent Collet pointed out that that was one of their examples of a lack of concentration. As you see there, Roussel active defensively, knocking the ball away. And Coach Collet has to be very pleased with the energy here for France on both sides of the floor. Here's Palmi, catch and shoot 3. He bricks it. Kofi comes out with a rebound. Jackson pushing it. Gets a screen from Poirier. And Poirier has the advantage here again. Roussel. Gotta get the high screen from Kofi. Jackson, pump fake and drive. Throws it up at the basket and throws it over the basket. seemed to be a little bit indecisive on whether he wants to throw the lob or put up a jump shot, but it's going to go back to Finland. So Palmi will come out of the game. Sasu Salin, who at the moment just 0 of 2 from the field. Again, coming off 27 points against Bosnia and Herzegovina. And again, good defense there from Hussein, who gets a little greedy, looking to swipe at the ball and commits the foul. Again, the ball handler picked up the ball, so dead ball there. You see the pivot feet. Yeah, you see Roussel there, just reaching in. So 14 on the shot clock for Finland. As Koponen will inbound. Even Koponen, so far, just 3 points. So the starting backcourt for Finland, slow start. And it's another turnover as Madsen throws it away that time. And Hussein will come out of the game. Did a pretty good job being, again, active defensively. Created a few shots for his teammates, and then obviously hit that buzzer beat at the end of the first quarter. Here's Lacombe now, strong drive again for Paul Lacombe, and he's definitely been the player of the game here so far. Lacombe already with 9 points, 4 or 5 shooting. And tough shot there from Madsen. He's kind of falling over and threw it up. And here comes Jackson. Gets the bump and finishes with the left hand off the glass. Strong finish from Edwin Jackson. And it leads to another timeout for Finland as they find themselves down 18. Jackson, who took off from way outside, kind of that semicircle by the rim, as we take another look at the Lacombe drive as well. Hesitation froze Koponen. Solid, too late with the help. Lacombe kind of elevates right through him.
Kapariviivan välillä. Me hävitään koko ajan siitä. Sekä ylös tullessa että erityisesti alas tullessa. Ei voida antaa.
So, again, you see the assistant coaches of Finland really trying to get their team a little more excited. They seem half asleep here tonight so far. Definitely lacking on energy. Meanwhile, France, with an abundance of it, it seems that every guy who stepped on the court so far has contributed. De Colo scoreless through 6 minutes, just 1 shot. But Kahudi with 8 points, Lacombe with 9, Batum with 6. And France shooting 72% from the field, 13 of 18 so far, 11 of 13 from 2. So they're definitely on fire, clicking on all cylinders. Meanwhile, Finland just 5 of 17, 29%. So obviously with good shooting by France and poor shooting from Finland, it's a recipe for disaster for the Finns. And Koponen looking to change things. They're going to call a foul on the Madsen layup. It's going to go either against Jackson or Poirier. And it seems going to be Jackson, who may have gotten all ball. You see the surprised look on his face. But nonetheless, Madsen will head to the free throw line for 2. Too strong on the first. Alexander Madsen, who was also scoreless on Thursday in just 4 minutes. And he goes 0 for 2 from the free throw line. And Finland just really struggling, 2 of 8 overall from the charity stripe. Here's Kofi. Nice high-low feed. Poirier throws down the dunk. It's like the Finnish defense isn't even there. France, easy delivery, easy dunk. And they're now up 20. And we still have 7 minutes to play here in the second quarter. So Koponen getting inside. He draws a foul. So Koponen, who will head to the free throw line, looking to slow down the shooting woes. Lacombe finds himself trailing the play, caught Koponen on that elbow. Taking a look at that nice feed inside. Poirier throws down the hammer. First free throw is good for Koponen. Koponen, who hasn't missed a free throw in the European qualifiers. And keeps that going with a Lacombe going to come out of the game here. And the Colo will replace him. Lacombe, who should be getting a nice hand from these fans considering his play, will get a breather. So Jackson over to the Colo. Poirier inside. Finds Kahudi, who gets into the lane. Can't finish the layup. Tries to get his own rebound. But Finland able to come up with it. Koponen with the hustle. Near travel from Koponen. There's Newton now inside to Kotti. And his little shot inside and out the basket. Hand off to Jackson. Nice crossover. Look to squeeze it there through Fasalin, who gets called for the kickball amid his protests. We'll see the ball seems to have hit him on the knee. And he's trying to say it wasn't deliberate. Does have a point there. So the steal is wiped out there for Solid, who again will be looking to get on the board. Still scoreless in almost 9 minutes of play for him. IBC back in the game. And IBC will pull up for the long three. No good. Solid collects the rebound. Huff over to Newtonen. Solid just wants a little bit of space. Can't squeeze the pass, and France running back the other way to Colo. Finds Kofi. Fumbles it, can't finish the layup. And Shauna Huff comes back the other way for Finland. Koponen will slow things down, orchestrate an offensive play. You can imagine they want to get Solid a good look. Instead, it's Koponen with the step back, and he connects on the long two. And that's going to lead to a French timeout, as Vincent Collet not liking what he's seen the last couple possessions. Taking a look at that Koponen, pushed off just enough to get the room to shoot. And sees his second field goal fall through the net.
Il sort au dur. Nico, attention dès le premier. Là, Nico est là, ils peuvent sortir au premier. Donc toi, il faut que tu regardes. Peut-être donner une release, ok? Tu peux passer peut-être même par en bas, mais il faut que tu ressortes fort. Je préfère taille en haut quand même. Sur le deuxième, Nando il est derrière. Ça sort. Nico il est loin de la ligne à 3 points. Cette release là, pareil que tout à l'heure, tu descends. Chacun tu montes quand il attrape. D'accord? Là tu fais la sélection entre les deux.
So you can hear Coach Collet instruct Nicolas Batum to be the focal point of the next play out of the timeout. So obviously Batum will come back into the game. Bright start for him, 3 of 3 shooting, 6 points, 2 assists. So you'd imagine the offense to run through him quite a bit here in the second quarter. Meanwhile for Finland, still looking to get Solid going. Koponen starting to heat up just a little bit with 7 points now. Koponen comes in averaging about 15.5 points per game so far in the qualifiers. And BC will run the show here for France. So Batum sets a screen. They can't find him. Poirier gets it. Looking to attack the big. Nice pass inside, and a reverse layup is good for Charles Kahudi. Here's Newton and over to Coty. Near steal, Cuddy re-gets it. Sean Huff, top of the key three. Too strong, Batum with another rebound. Batum inside Kahudi. It's a double team. Someone's open, it's DeColo. And he gets, it's going to be an unsportsmanlike foul against Kaponen. Obviously, these two very familiar with themselves from the Barcelona Cheshka days. And you see there the hard swipe. DeColo falls violently to the ground. Koponen surely meant no harm, but still, when there's that violent of, I guess, of a contact, just for principle, they're going to call the unsportsmanlike foul. And that will give DeColo 2 free throws and France the ball. And DeColo finally gets his first point of the night. Should also be noted that Amin Noua, who started the game on Thursday, hasn't checked into this game yet. And he's actually the only French player to not have played as of yet. Meanwhile, for Finland, we've also seen 11 players except for Tavanainen. And Newtonen will get another rest. So we have Koponen and Solin in the backcourt, joined by Coty, Alex Murphy, and Sean Huff for Finland. Here's Batum. Pulls up from London, long two, connects on another long two. Nicholas Batum really feeling it from what's not really the perimeter, it's beyond below the three-point arc, but likes nonetheless. Here's Murphy with a nice backdoor cut, reverse layup. Saw that his defender had left his space. And Murphy able to fill that space on the cut. So 39-19 here. As Batum lobs it to Poirier for the dunk. Alley-oop jam. Batum connects with Poirier. And that was not an easy catch from the big fella. Here's Koponen. And they're going to call the offensive foul on Coty. And we'll take another look at that lob. Batum always has his eyes up. Soft pass, Poirier able to catch and turn his body to face the rim before throwing it down. So athletic move from the 7-footer. Once again, the lob, the jam. Out of BC now. Hands off to DeColo. Batum catch and shoot on the wing. His three's no good. Poirier there for the tip. Unable to put into the hoop. And the referees signal that the ball, as you take another look at that missed tip, there seems to have been a little bit of a discussion on who the ball went out of. And it's going to go to Finland. Here's Solin. Aidu back into the game, replacing Koponen. Thought about the three. Oh, nice backdoor cut. This time it's Solin. Fades away. He can't finish. Still scoreless for him. France comes back down to 22-point lead and the ball. Batum, who throws it away. Solin will chase it down and pulls it out. Once the three, thought about the three at least. Aidu will take the three. He can't finish it. And Poirier gets the rebound. France decides to slow it down. France very methodical here tonight, executing good offense, getting stops on defense, and DeColo from beyond the arc for his first field goal. Nando DeColo starting to heat up just a little bit. He's now got 5 points. Again, he wasn't able to knock down any three-pointers on Thursday. 0 for 4, including a three that could have brought the game down to 1 in the final seconds as Aidu responds to 3 of his own. So Fifi Aidu gets his first field goal here tonight. And it's 44-22, another backdoor cut. This time Salin does intentionally kick it away. You see there, Salin getting his left foot to prevent the backdoor layup. We're seeing some good cuts as Nua finally checking into the game for the first time. Nua, who got his first taste of the qualifiers as a starter on Thursday, 10 minutes, 4 points. Plays for Asvel alongside Charles Kahudi. So Albisi will inbound from the backcourt now. Lesor also back into the game. And it's DeColo. Gets the high screen. Albisi looking for the roll man. It's over to Nua. He'll take the long three. His first shot no good. Aidu skies up for the rebound and elbows Albisi, so that won't be an offensive foul. Aidu, who felt the pressure from the point guard, harassing him up the court. And then you'll see he'll just try to create the separation there with his off arm. And that's going to be the offensive foul. Oh, good ball pressure there. Aidu leads to steal. 3-on-3 opportunity. Murphy, nice in and out. And he throws it down over the sub. Alex Murphy, welcome to Finland. The naturalized American, able to get the thunderous dunk. Let me take another look at that. Murphy in and out dribble on the sub to create the room. Right, left, thump. That's on your head, Mr. Lesor. And you see the screen, too. Don't flex on him, Murphy. And he's really been a bright spot off the bench. 9 points now, leads the way for Finland. 4-6 from the field for Murphy. As Albisi will be at the free throw line, connecting on the first free throw. So France still perfect from the free throw line. Meanwhile, Finland currently 4 of 10. So France up 22, just over a minute to go here in the half. Again, Salin surely frustrated, no points so far after blowing up for 27 on Thursday. Here's Koponen. Koponen isolates, pulls up for 3. No good. Batum, good box out. DeColo able to easily collect the board. Albisi inside. Noah. Nice pass to Lesor. Feels the bump and finishes at the hoop. Once again, pretty much easy offense there for France. Not meeting too much resistance. And they've doubled up the score on Finland. Here's Murphy again. Lesor bumps him, and they're going to call a foul on the big man as he couldn't quite stay in front of Murphy. As you see there, just dislodging Murphy ever so slightly. Trying to cut off that angle. So 16 seconds left in the first half as Adu too strong on that shot. Nua comes up with a rebound, and France will get one more chance to add to their lead in the closing seconds of the second quarter. Albisi inside. Lassalle takes his time, lays it in. It's another buzzer beater for France, and another well-executed offensive play for Les Bleus as they now lead 50-24 at the break. Again, a plus 26 advantage here for the French as Lassalle seemed like he wouldn't get it off in time, but you see it, the ball leaves his fingertips just before that red light comes on. So a phenomenal first half of basketball for France where they shoot 20 for 32, 63% from the field, including 17 of 23, 74% from inside the arc, but also 7 of 7 from the free throw line. You see the score at halftime, 50-24, France over Finland. Meanwhile, Finland struggling, 9 of 27 for 33%, 4 of 10 from the free throw line, 7 turnovers as well. And they're also getting out-rebounded 20-12. So Coach Detman will have a lot to talk about in the locker room here at the half, and will look to be making a number of adjustments on both sides of the floor. Make sure you stay tuned for the second half here in just a few more minutes. Again, in this second round of the qualifiers, the 3 highest placed teams from each group, so total of 12 teams will qualify for the World Cup in China next summer. Right now in Group K, France at the top, 6 wins, 1 loss. Finland in third. So all these games, so much to play for. As we'll take a look at some of the highlights of that first half. We'll also be back shortly for the second half action. And again, France doing a great job moving the ball throughout that half and getting a lot of uncontested jump shots, layups, and dunks. So Coach Collet has to be happy with the execution. France already with 16 assists in that first half, Finland with just 4. So again, if you need to point out a number of telling stats, that's just one of them. There's more to look at, of course. Points in the paint. France 24-10 advantage. Bench points. France 21-14 advantage. And again, those are 2 areas that we had highlighted as French strengths. Obviously, the size advantage means you're likely going to get more points in the paint. Meanwhile, the bench and more weapons on the bench obviously contributes to that department. But still, we would not have anticipated France having a 26-point lead at the half, and what can easily be described as a dominant first 20 minutes of basketball for them. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Group K at the moment, Russia with a 7-point lead at the half against Bulgaria. So Bulgaria, who are obviously looking to build that momentum from the big win against France, and obviously capitalize on the fact that Russia had lost a close game to Czech Republic. Well, they still have 20 minutes to play, but Russia leads that one. Meanwhile, a number of highlight plays. Roussel with 1 of 2 buzzer beaters so far for France, which is another testament to their execution as they're able to go in at the break with big baskets and a lot of momentum. And again, this is a Finnish team that finished second in Group F behind the Czech Republic. Meanwhile, France finished first in Group E with 6 wins, no losses. So within Group K, France still up top, but there's so much to play for there. After this game, obviously that concludes the 4th of 6 windows, but France will be back in action in November as they travel to the Czech Republic and then also face Bulgaria at home. These 2 teams will then meet again in February during the 5th and final window over in Helsinki. As you see the Prahia dunk there. Meanwhile, Finland, after the 2-month break, they'll be back in action also at the end of November, where they'll be hosting Russia in game day number 9 of 12. So we'll see if Finland's able to bounce back after a tough 20 minutes. We'll see if they're able to pick up their defense, have a little bit more intensity, as well as create some shot opportunities on the offensive end. Obviously missing Lauri Markkanen, and that can't really be understated. So much of their offense at the Eurobasket last summer running through Markkanen, but also in the last window, he had a couple of great performances. And he's such a game changer. Meanwhile, France, they're almost fully loaded here tonight. No Evan Fournier, but with Batum, DeColo, Jackson, and so forth, that list, you'd expect them to come out with a lot of intensity after a loss against Bulgaria. So again, we'll be back very shortly for the second half action here in Montpellier.
Reprise de cette rencontre dans un peu plus de 6 minutes. Nous vous rappelons que cette rencontre de qualification à la Coupe du Monde 2019 en Chine est organisée par la Fédération française de basketball. On salue les partenaires institutionnels, la région Occitanie, Montpellier Métropole Méditerranée, le département de l'Hérault et la ville de Montpellier. On salue également les partenaires officiels de la Fédération française de basket, la Maïf, les chaînes RMC Sport, SFR, l'équipementier Jordan Grand ou encore la Caisse d'Épargne. Clin d'œil également aux fournisseurs officiels de la Fédération avec les ballons Molten, la FDG ou encore les montres Pierre Lanier. Et enfin les partenaires médias avec RMC et le magazine Sportpag. On vous le disait en présentation, le trophée officiel de cette Coupe du Monde 2019 qui aura lieu en Chine et qui sera remise aux vainqueurs. Ce trophée, cette coupe, eh bien, il est présent, il est au bord du parquet, vous pouvez l'apercevoir juste derrière Georgeli et Joris Sabi qui commentent cette rencontre. Ce trophée officiel que vous retrouverez donc l'année prochaine en Chine dans les mains des vainqueurs.
Welcome back, basketball fans, French fans, Finnish fans, to La Suite de France Arena in Montpellier, here in the south of France. We are in the midst of what's been a compelling game. France up 50-24 on the visiting Finns, and what you could describe as a dominant performance here in the first 20 minutes for Les Bleus. Nicolas Batum got things off to a good start for France. He talked in the press conference after the Bulgaria loss about the need to come out focused with a lot of energy and concentration. And it seems that all 12 players are adhering to that message. Meanwhile, for Finland, after a pretty big win on Thursday against Bosnia and Herzegovina, a Bosnian team that featured Yusuf Nurkic as well as Musa, they're just not playing the same way. Clearly simple. That game, they were 13 of 33 from three. Here so far tonight, not the case. They just haven't been able to put the ball in the basket, shooting under 30% from the field in the game. They also only have had 4 assists. Meanwhile, the other night, 25 assists. So that's just simple math. Again, they're 9 of 27, 33%, 2 of 9 from three-point land. So they still have a chance, obviously, to turn things around. They need to be much more efficient shooting. And you don't expect France to put their foot off the gas by any means after really trying to prove a point following their first loss to Bulgaria, or first loss of these qualifiers to Bulgaria on Thursday. Again, they were in a group in the first round with Belgium, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Russia, and were undefeated in that group. So to start the second round with a loss to Bulgaria, you could call it surprising, but you can also call it a bit of a wake-up call for Les Bleus. Meanwhile, Finland comes in 4 wins, 3 losses. They did have this huge, thunderous Alex Murphy throwdown to create a little bit of excitement, but not much else to be excited about in that first half. Again, before this game, Sean Huff talked about how Finland used to get whipped by France in the past, but lately they've been able to snatch victories over them. So they still think it's an accomplishment in itself to play a close game against France, who've been one of the best teams in Europe in this decade. But, you know, that hasn't been the case here tonight. Meanwhile, Coach Detman looking to make some adjustments, including inserting Alex Murphy into the starting lineup here the second half. He's still joined by Koponen, Salin. I think it's going to be Jantinen and Newtonen. So Kotsi will start the second half on the bench. Here's Albisi for France. Another pick and roll. Oh, good offense. And an easy layup once again, uncontested. That time it's Kahudi off the nice high-low pass from Lessard. See Lessard with a nice pass. Kahudi goes right at Jantinen and just uses the rim to protect the ball before finishing with the left hand. Here's Murphy, who has been aggressive, throws the ball away though. Numbers for France. De Colo dribbles it back out. Looks to post up Koponen. Finds Kahudi wide open. He'll take the mid-range jumper and knock it down. So wide open. 2-point shot that time from Kahudi, who then commits the foul on the other end, trying to cut off Koponen's drive. But again, the Finnish defense just not quite as intense and detail-oriented as you'd like it to be to start the second half. Here's Koponen. Jantinen dribbles it off his foot, and then Colo with a steal, and he'll attack the basket. No finish that time, and Koponen with good transition D, easy to avoid the foul. And Koponen looking to attack Lessard that on the other end, and Lessard commits a foul on the reach. So France, as you see there, find themselves with a bit of a mismatch. Lessard resorts to just fouling rather than to let Koponen get to the basket. Meanwhile, another look at Kahudi's jump shot. Near deflection. Newtonen thought about the three. Koponen has to put it up. And it's going to be a shot clock violation. Oh, no shot clock as the ball ends up in Lessard's hands. And France with great defense that time down. Finland still scoreless here in the third quarter. Oh, crossover to Colo. You can imagine how many times he's practiced that shot. Lessard, offensive rebound. Murphy got a piece of it. Able to time the block perfectly. Newtonen catch and shoot three. He hits it. And just a little bit of momentum now from Finland as they get the stop on one end and the three-pointer on the other. Here's Batum, who finds the Colo backdoor lob. Salin able to get back into the play and deflect the ball out of bounds. But again, Batum, such a gifted passer. You see how not just smart, but effortless he makes it look. And Batum looking to get the ball inside to Lessard. Murphy commits another foul. Significant height and weight disadvantage there between Lessard and Murphy. Here's Albisi. And it's going to be a foul inside. Lessard unable to finish the end one play. But again, gets a look off the nice pass from Albisi and a good spin move. Murphy. And Murphy, who has been in foul trouble and a lot of the action he's had for Finland, including picking up 4 fouls the other night. That's his 3rd foul here tonight. So Murphy will head to the bench. He's still the leading scorer, 9 points. Meanwhile, Lesor at the free throw line hits his first free throw. Lesor, who actually plays club basketball at Unicaja with Sasu Salin of Finland, also where Edwin Jackson used to play. Here's Koponen now. Nice pick and roll action. Koti gets the bump and finishes through it. And another field goal here for Finland. So France still up 26, same number that they had going into halftime. Nice pick and roll out BC, and they're going to call a goaltending against Koti. So give the 2 points to Lesor of France. See good help side defense there from Janttinen, but then Koti slaps the ball away through the net. Koponen, a little bit of room for the 3. Back iron. And Alcibi gives an early post feed to Batum, who finds the cutting to Kolo. Oh, great ball movement. And Lesor will head back to the free throw line, but all the French players touching the ball in that possession. Quick thinking, quick passing. And you see the unselfish find there from Kahudi, and Lesor just using his strength to overpower Koponen and draw the foul. So Salin and Janttinen will check back out of the game, and that brings Kanervo off the bench. First free throw, no good for Lesor. And he goes 0 for 2 on that trip. Lesor, who's just playing his 2nd game for France, played 17 minutes, had 3 points on Thursday. Already has 7 points here tonight, just 1 of 4 from the free throw line though. And Kanervo catch and shoot 3, that's short. France looking to push. The Kolo doesn't have numbers, doesn't matter, and he loses the ball in the drive. So here's Sean Huff, looking to bring some energy off the bench for Finland, pulls up for 3, knocks it down in transition. So Sean Huff, the confident looking shot that time. Batum failed to close out, kind of dared Huff to shoot, and he obliged. Then Kanervo gets called for the foul on the other end. So Finland with 2 threes in the first few minutes of the 3rd quarter to match the 2 threes that they had in the first half combined. Newtonen will check out of the game, replaced by Palmy. DeColo kind of, again, a little bit sloppy with the ball. Caverno takes another 3, and that's 6 in a row now for Finland, which leads to the French timeout. So Nando DeColo just wasn't strong with the ball, and it leads to the wide open 3 for Antti Kanervo. And again, they leave him open.
Les écrans, faire les écrans, tu joues 4 sur la sortie, il faut faire l'écran.
Nice looking shot there from Kanervo.
La balle bouge moins, on perd la balle et de l'autre côté il y a sanction. Donc reprendre correctement, ok? On fait un corne simple, ok? Très large, et on essaye de l'emmener, de se passer la balle. Et on repart, allez, tout de suite.
So Kanervo, who has been averaging almost 2 3-pointers made per game, comes in averaging 54% from beyond the arc. Knocks down that 3, and you can sense just a little bit of momentum building here for Finland. Again, that's their 5th 3 of the night. They're going to need to shoot a lot more to keep climbing back into this game. So it seems to be pretty much sold out here in the Sud de France Arena in Montpellier. Again, France, a country so proud of its sports, and Finland starting to develop that reputation as well. Here's Lesor again inside. Kicks back out to De Colo. Ooh, Batum slips. We hope he's okay. And on the other end, Koponen will head to the free throw line. So Nicholas Batum took a nasty fall. And we'll see if he's able to get up on his own power. He does. So it looked maybe a little bit worse than it actually was. Perhaps a little bit of soreness. You'll see here, he slipped. And his knee, obviously, it's not supposed to go down that way. It's always tough to see a player go like that, but so they'll make sure they wipe up those spots on the floor. And Batum, we'll see if he heads to the bench to get some attention. It seems to be more his hip than his knee or anything, which is a good sign. And they're up 20-plus points at the moment, so there may not be a need for him to check it back into the game. We'll see how France decides to play it. Obviously, the NBA training camp just a week or so away. Here's Kofi. BC. It's a high screen from Charles Kofi. Finds Lesor inside. Nice drop step. And the layup falls for Lesor. So Mathias Lesor, who been a very, very bright spot for France in this game. Strength and energy. Mustafa Fall, who had started most games at center, coming off the bench now is Palmy. He gets another three for Finland. And all of a sudden, the lead is under 20 at 19. Don't forget, it was 28 just a few moments ago. There's Lesor again. BC finds Lesor, good hands, and he dunks it over the entire Finnish defense. And then he's gonna get called for either delay of game or technical foul here, but again, Lesor just too strong for the Finns. And a beautiful feed also from BC, who's just didn't have too much space there to make that bounce pass, but right on target, Lesor elevates to throw it down. Here's Koponen. And he turns it over. Another steal for France. No need for them to rush. Here's Lacombe back into the game. Lobs it up. And the angle was just a little bit too tough for Lesor to handle. Lesor, just 22 years of age. The future is bright for him. He'll check out of the game, which brings Vincent Poirier back into it. Vincent Poirier, 24 years old, the 7-footer. So France deciding not to go to Mustafa Fall as the first big off the bench here in the third quarter. Could be a conditioning thing. And another turnover for Finland as we see number 17, Ville Tavainen, into the game for the first time, as well as Pilma couldn't quite get the catch there.
Roussel also checks back in for France for BC. And Lacombe's been a great playmaker in that first half. Kahudi fadeaway jump shot. Can't finish. Huff rebounds and pushes. Palmy almost slips. France was making everything hard offensively for Finland. They're very aware defensively as Caverno takes another three. That's no good. And the fight for the rebound, they're going to call a push in the back against Palmy. And that's going to be free throws now on the other end. As you see the missed shot from Caverno. Good closeout that time from Kofi. And yet the push is going to actually go on Tavanainen. So Hussein at the free throw line. Knocks down the first. Hussein, who again didn't play against Bulgaria, the Limoges point guard. This is now his second game for France. And he drops the second free throw as well. So France will probably be looking to stay close to his 20-point lead. Obviously, Finland looking to make a couple more runs. You'd expect them to do so. So here's Tavanainen running the point guard duties. Finds Huff. He'll turn around. Nice little finish there from Sean Huff. Soft touch. Meanwhile, Jackson back into the game for France. Alongside Hussein in the backcourt. And they're joined by Kofi, Poirier, and Lecombe. Here's Poirier now. Strong dive. Can't finish, stays with it. Again, good ball movement from France. Lacombe pulls into a long two. That's short. Caverno with the rebound. And Hussein will be called for the foul, looking to slow down Tavanainen. Again, number 17 here, Tavanainen, just 18 years of age. Also involved alongside Mikael Jutinen in the Helsinki Academy. Here's Murphy now, looking to drive at Poirier. Caverno catch and shoot three, that's short. Huff with another rebound, Caverno another chance, and this one falls for him. So the three-pointer much friendlier here in the third quarter for Finland, as they're able to get it down to 18. Here's Jackson over to Kofi. Lacombe, nice pass. Poirier, good pump fake. Missed the layup though. Soft attempt that time from the big man. And Murphy looking to push it. And they're going to call a foul as well as a goaltending, I believe. So that should give Murphy a chance at a three-point play. And Murphy, who's been great at going downhill in transition, gets the ball off the backboard first, and then Poirier compounds his mistake on one end with the goaltending on the other. And a chance for a three-point play for Alex Murphy. He's also in double figures. 11 points on the night. Chance to add to that now. And ball bounces around and drops for him. So 12 points for Alex Murphy. 9 for Koponen. And Sean Huff with 7. That's pretty much it. Unless you also want to count Canervo's 2 threes, obviously, but not much scoring punch from Finland right now. Meanwhile, Lacombe inside the Poirier. Jackson has to put it up. Contested three. No good. Gets his own rebound and finishes at the rim. Wise play there from Edwin Jackson. The shooter always knows best in terms of where the ball is going to end up on the rebound. And he's able to chase it down and get a quick layup as turnover on the other end. Kofi with the steal. And it was a 15-point game for just a few moments. Now France looking to create a little more separation. There's Kofi. Drops that baseline, turnaround jumper. Huff with another rebound. And he's looking to push. 3-on-2. Lacombe able to get into the passing lane, knocking the ball out of bounds. So with 27 seconds left in the third quarter, Finland will get a chance to once again cut into the deficit. And you saw there Solin already wants to throw the behind-the-back pass before the ball arrived. So Koponen will come back in for this last 30 or so seconds. Here's Solin. Lacombe draped all over him. John Huff. Another big contested three. And Finland really heating up beyond the arc. That is now their their seventh three-pointer of the third quarter. Here's Poirier again. This time he finishes strong and gets to 2 as the third quarter buzzer expires. France now up 67-51 at the end of 3. So France with a 16-point lead with 10 minutes to go here in a third quarter that saw Batum go down with what could have been a nasty injury. Seems to be okay. They're just loosening them up. Meanwhile, Finland a plus 10 in that quarter, 27-17. So still plenty of time and hope for Finland to climb back into this game. As you see there, the World Cup app. Make sure you download that for all your smartphones, whether it's on the iPhone or the Google Android. Get a chance to catch all the highlights, all the news, stats, Nike top 5 plays of the day, and the scores from all the other games. Again, so much action here over the fourth window of the European, and actually the World Cup qualifiers, because obviously teams in Africa, Asia, and the Americas also in action. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Group K, in the game that matters to the fans in here, Russia and Bulgaria. 2-point game at the end of 3. Russia 62-60 with 10 minutes to go in Moscow. So Bulgaria with the chance to pull up maybe another upset here in this window. Meanwhile, France still 6-1 at the moment. 6 wins, 1 loss. Looking to create a little bit more separation with them in the Czech Republic before the Czechs face off against Bosnia and Herzegovina here in a couple of hours. But we're back in Montpellier where Finland will get the first possession of the fourth quarter. And it's Tapanainen inside. Madsen unable to finish the layup, and Lacombe comes out with the rebound. So Hussein takes his time. Oh, the little floater. Jonathan Hussein. A nice shot. Definitely not an easy one. And France back up 18 now. So kickball. We'll put 14 on the shot clock for Finland. As you see, Lacombe actually gets caught for the foul, but that Hussein, that is a very tricky shot to pull off. Soft touch there from Hussein. And again, we need to highlight this France defense as all the players so active in their denials and the help side rotations. Finland, every shot's contested. There's another one for Huff. And Lacombe comes out with a rebound again. Here's Jackson. Hussein pulls it back out. Will organize. Slowly drops Tavanainen. Jackson. Great ball movement. Hussein wide open 3. Long shot's no good, but Jackson gets the offensive rebound. And France content to use up a little bit more clock. Here's Poirier. Oh, he almost travels, throws it up at the rim. The pass to Kofi got taken away, so he had no choice, really. Here's Matson, nice find, and it's swatted away. Lacombe, who said saves under his own basket. Fortunate, but once again, Paul Lacombe, who does a little bit of everything for this team, leads them in steals. Also one of their leading scorers. That time gets a swat. Here's Kofi inside to Poirier. He's got the mismatch, and he can't finish. Here's Copeland again. And Lacombe gets a little bit more ambitious with his hands, looking for the steal. But we'll take another look at this block here from Lacombe. Reads the offense, anticipates the layup coming, and meets Matson at the apex, swatting the ball away. Meanwhile, Lacombe currently finding himself. He's definitely slowed down his scoring since that first quarter. Remember, started this game on fire. And it's another near steal, but Solin gets his first clean look at a three and drills it. So Sasu Solin cuts the lead down to 14. That is literally the first open shot Solin has gotten all game. And of course, he knocks it down. So again, plenty of time to come back into this game. So Batum, and that's a very good sight, pleasant sight for the French fans to see, all basketball fans really, as he's okay to keep going. Here's Roussel. And also Mathias Lessor back into the game. Batum hands it over to Jackson. Five on the shot clock. Jackson hesitates. Little bump, no foul. It's a stop for Finland. It's going to be a foul in the backcourt, and then call it unsportsmanlike foul. So 2 free throws and the ball to come here for Finland. Jackson pleading his case, but the referees decided he did not make a clear play on the ball. So Jackson compounding his turnover with a silly foul, and he'll head to the bench. Solin knocking down the first free throw. So just the 4th point of the night there for Sasu Solin. And he goes 2 for 2. And all of a sudden, Finland only down 13. Koponen. You'd imagine him and Solin need to be very aggressive here. Adu also back into the game, joined by Sean Huff and Alex Murphy. Definitely a small ball lineup for Finland. Murphy, the biggest guy, at just 6'8". Here's Koponen, gets the crossover and the runner. A little bit of contact between him and Lessor, but nonetheless, it's a 4-point possession for Finland. And an 11-point game here in the 4th quarter. Remember, it was 28 at one point. They're going to call a foul on Huff inside. Looking to body up Lessor. Sorry, France's biggest lead was 30 at one point, as they were up 54-24. But since then, a marvelous run for Finland. Here's Batum, catch and shoot 3, no good. And another stop for Finland. And now a chance to climb back to single digits. So this run, starting in the 3rd quarter, extending to the 4th, brings Finland all the way back into the game. Under 6.5 to go. We'll see how long Coach Detman can stay with the small lineup. Adu finds Murphy inside, and he's swatted by Lessard. Here's Batum. Over to De Colo. And again, Lessard using his strength to seal his position right under the basket. Huff with no choice but to foul. As you see on the other end, Lessard goes up, straight up, and pins Murphy on the backboard. Meanwhile, on the offensive end, he pins Huff under the basket. So Huff checks out of the game. BC also back in. Tough pass, and Adu with the steal. That's what he's there for, his defense. Meanwhile, De Colo almost got a steal back. Newton and pump fakes a three. It's Adu. Oh, they're going to call him for a travel. And Vincent Collet wants a timeout to talk things over. Tough call there against Adu, who seemed to have to step, but put the ball, he put his foot down before the dribble, and that's the traveling call. So, 69-58, just over 5 minutes to go here in the final quarter. It's a 34-15 run since France's largest lead of 54-24. Since then, Finland outscoring France 34-15 to cut the lead back down to 11. Big reason for that, Alex Murphy, 12 points. Koponen also in double figures with 11, and then Sean Huff with 10. So those three guys really stepping up here in the second half. Meanwhile, for France, they're led in scoring by Charles Kahudi. The quiet 14 points, 2 threes for him. Lessard with 11. So the two guys in the front court making big contributions. Batum's been quiet since the first half, just 4 of 6 shooting, 8 points. De Colo just 5 points. Lacombe, third leading scorer with 9. So France still shooting about 61% from inside the arc, 52% overall. Meanwhile, for Finland, they are really picking up from three. They're at 41% now from the three-point land. And their overall shooting has climbed up to 43%. It was around in the low 30s for pretty much the entire first half. But now 9 of 22 from three really has allowed them to climb back into this game. We said the three-pointer would be a weapon for them, and they have been able to exploit it. So here's Lacombe now running point guard duties alongside Batum and De Colo. 4 guards in the game for France. Lacombe finds De Colo, pump fakes. Lacombe now for 3, no good. Good box out there from Solin. And he looks to go all the way, throws it away. De Colo and Lacombe running the floor. Oh, what a series of moves from Paul Lacombe. And it leads to the easy finger roll layup. Lacombe turning the defense into offense. Goes coast to coast for 2. And he gets another, well, what could have been another steal. Instead, it will be a foul against the point guard. So first, just in the right defensive position. Then gets around Koponen behind the back, and then the crossover. And not exactly fundamental transition defense there from Finland. So Tavanen will check back in, replacing Koponen. Finland just down 13. Do they have time and room for one more push? Murphy goes to the basket and blocked yet again from Lessard. this time with the left hand. So after throwing down the facial jam in the first half, Alex Murphy struggling to finish at the rim. And that's going to be a turnover on France, as there wasn't really much room there to make that pass. Take another look at the Lessard block, on-ball block too, which is not easy. Times it perfectly, able to elevate without fouling, and slaps it off the backboard for the second time in a matter of minutes. Oh, lazy pass stolen by Lessard, and he'll throw down the two-handed jam. And that brings the fans on their feet as the young 18-year-old backup point guard Tavanainen just not really putting enough emphasis on that pass. You see, it's kind of a lazy one. Murphy doesn't come to meet it. Lessard gets it to the passing lane, and then you gotta love a dunk where you don't even have to put your hands on the rim, yet still manages to throw it down with power. So Coach Detman is well known for letting his assistants draw up a lot of plays throughout the game. Democracy in his coaching staff. Obviously always spoiling the gold chain. But Mathias Lessard, again, just his second game in these qualifiers for France. 13 points on 6 of 7 shooting from the field, 5 rebounds and 3 steals. So far, he is the man of the match for France. And doing all that in just 16 minutes of action is Lessard. So, difference maker in the short time he's been on the court. So we'll see it. Tavanainen able to bounce back after that turnover. Here's Newtonen. Oh, he's gonna set an illegal screen. Koponen lays out Lessard. So they were looking for the back screen to get Murphy dive into the basket, and Koponen obviously not happy with that call. You see it here again. Murphy cuts. Koponen lays his shoulder into him. That's what we call a crackback. BC will run the offense. DeColo catches shoot 3. Adu gets a piece of it. The ball lands out of bounds, but once again, Adu, the defensive specialist, able to get his fingertips on the ball. And DeColo just hasn't quite had it here tonight. Hasn't hurt France too much. But again, after having 5 turnovers on Thursday, has 5 more turnovers here tonight. Can he score here? Indeed. So he just tells me to shut my mouth, basically, as he knocks down another shot off the glass. Here's Tavanainen. Adu over to Koponen. Hounded by Kahudi. Murphy drives again. And one opportunity for Alex Murphy. Him and Mathias Lessard have really had a battle at the rim here tonight. You can see Murphy's exhausted, but he gets another layup off the glass and cuts the lead down to 15. Again, Murphy, the leading scorer here for Finland, draws the contact on Lessard, and Lessard will pick up his 3rd foul. Meanwhile, Murphy at the line, chance to get his 15th point of the night. Again, Murphy, 25 years of age. Currently playing at Shulnak Alai in Bulgaria. And he can't make that free throw. So the lead stays at 15. DeColo finds Batum nearly half court, nearly a backcourt violation. Batum off Lesor's head. BC elbow jump, baseline jumper, no good. And Koponen comes out with the rebound. Three-pointer. Tavanen unable to connect for his first field goal. Here's Batum looking for the mismatch inside. It's going to be an offensive foul on Kahudi as he kind of just threw Solin out of the way. So you see they're using the forearm. And again, almost being punished for his strength advantage. So 2 minutes, 54 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Finland still down 15. France not letting up defensively. See the ball pressure in the backcourt. Lesor gets switched on to Koponen. He pulls up for three, knocks it down. Back down to 12. Petri Koponen now with 14 points. And again, you have to admire the Finnish spirit in the second half, not going away. Here's Lesor, shot clock winding down. Batum has to put it up, top of the key, and it's good for Nicholas Batum. And he pushes the lead back out to 15. Big shot for him to put him double figures, and now BC pokes it away and calmly pulls it back out to use some clock. So a great defensive play, and then a heads-up recognition of time and score for BC. Here's Batum now. Lesor, Batum, little two-man game action, and his back-to-back trays for Nicolas Batum. And that might have just be the dagger as the lead balloons up to 18 points. Sasu Salin will come out of the game. It will likely be for the last time, just 5 points for him. Meanwhile, Fifi Edu comes back in. Here's Tavanen, catch and shoot three. Rushes it, no good. Edu kept it alive and then gets crashed into by Kahudi. Falls down hard. You see there Edu on the ground. Able to get back to his feet. You see Kahudi just a little bit too late going for that rebound. So Fifi Edu will head to the free throw line for two. And these will be Edu's first free throws of the World Cup qualifiers. Seems to be a little bit dazed, still does Edu, as you see Coach Collet stoic on the sideline, but surely happy inside. And Edu knocking down the first free throw. So we called Edu's name quite a bit. He has brought the energy, playing for Ura Basket this year. And his future is bright for this Susiengi. BC, little ball handling display. Able to get it to DeColo. And obviously France happy to play a little spread offense here to use up clock. Batum left with room for three. This time no good, and Kahudi skies up for the rebound and gets undercut. So we'll see who they give that foul to for Finland. 2 free throws to come. Or is it going to be in the baseline? So on the box out there, it might have been Tavanen actually. Obviously a dangerous play when players somewhat defenseless. And as Finland is not yet in the penalty, France will not shoot free throws. De Colo. You know, he wants it. Step back, another block. That time it's Huff. Well, it seemed he got a piece of it. Might have been just an air ball, but either way, shot clock violation. And with under a minute to go, the fans are on their feet as France up 16. And the French fans singing the national anthem here in the final minute as Tavanene with a nice lefty scoop off the backboard with the left. So the young man finally gets his first field goal. Mathias Lesor commits the foul. See him catch him right on the wrist. And Tavanene will head to the free throw line for a chance for the three-point play. So Ville Tavanene doesn't complete that three-point play. But Finland just down 14 now as the fans continue to sing and the French continue to play. Here's Batum finding the cutting to Colo, and that's just the icing on the cake as the two veterans of the French national team connect for one more basket there to push the lead up to 83-67. Albisi goes for the steal, doesn't get it. And you see Batum with another assist, his fourth assist of the night. Again, he's always around that 10-5-5 line. Here tonight, 14-4-4. As Albisi gets the final rebound. And as the game clock expires, it's going to be France coming out on top in this Group K matchup, 83-67 over Finland. A big comeback, or bounce back win, should I say, for France. Meanwhile, tough loss for Finland on the road. But once again, it's France, 83-67 over Finland. So Paul Lacombe, one of many contributors to this French victory. Mathias Lesor as well, number 26, just his first home game at least in the European qualifiers for France. Very good performance for him, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals for the big man. So France taking care of business here in Montpellier, able to come up with a big home win to move to 7-1 in the qualifiers in the second round. Meanwhile, Finland dropped to 4-4. And they will be obviously paying attention to that matchup in Russia. Russia at the moment 74-72 with 52 seconds left against Bulgaria. So Bulgaria still has a chance to win that game. Meanwhile, here in France, Mathias Lesor gets the game ball. We said he would probably be the player of the game with that stat line of his. Some other notable performances. Charles Kahudi, 14 points and 2 rebounds for him on 6 of 10 shooting. Lecombe, 9 points and a couple of steals. Meanwhile, for Finland, again, they struggled in the early going, and it was a tall mountain for them to climb. They did knock down 6 threes in that third quarter, but unable to hit from beyond the arc in the fourth quarter. So they finished the game 18-44, 51 points. And obviously, sorry, that's 83, 67, 67 points, but they finished the game with 10 threes. So 10-25 from 3, 40% does Finland. 23-54 overall, 43%. For 63 points total 67 points. Wow. Meanwhile, France, they're 83 points coming from balanced scoring. So you take a look at the standings there. In Group K, obviously a lot of fluctuations still to happen. We don't know what's going to happen in the Russia-Bulgaria game. And then Czech Republic and Bosnia and Herzegovina get underway in just about an hour.
Un ultime merci à l'ensemble des partenaires officiels de la Fédération française de basket, la Maïf, les chaînes RMC Sport, SFR, l'équipementier Jordan Brand ou encore la Caisse d'épargne.
So, in terms of players for this game, we mentioned Lessor, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. We mentioned Batum, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Lecombe ends up with 11 points. On the other end for Finland, Sean Huff with 10, Koponen